This is an original window that's was in the house when it was built. It's aluminum, and unfortunately my prior tenants had a basketball hoop they brought in and set up, and one by one all the windows on the front of the house got broken. So this is the only one left that's actually glass. This is cardboard. There's plexiglass in the other two windows. So they get creative, you know, whatever. First doing is I'm pulling out this piece of plywood that he put in here. There's a lot of rot around here, probably from the water dripping down from the full gutters that never got cleaned. And so I'm going to basically start dismantling this this window. Okay. But these are single pane windows, and they're not double hung, so the top part of the window doesn't move. Cheap, basically. So I'm trying to figure this out. Next, I'm going to take out the window sill. I want to keep this piece to be able to make a new one. So I don't want to destroy it coming out, because I really want to not have to measure too much. So it'll be good. This is that awesome tool. I love this thing. You can just pound it in. It's great for countersunk nails. Just pulls them right out. It's very, very easy. I love this tool. It just saves me so much time, man. Yeah, this is great, because it'll go down below the surface of the wood, dig in, and then pull it right out. There's the last nail is really countersunk bad, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. So. And now the sill's out. So very easy. And I can just lift it out. But now I have the measurement, exact measurement of the opening. Width-wise, I can just scribe it on a piece of lumber if I want to. And but you can see how bad this is. This is pretty serious rot there, just from water and stuff. These windows are a real pain. They are difficult to deal with. Man, there's no screws I can find, so I can't really take them out the normal way. But it is a drag. Finally. I am tired. It took me, I actually timed myself, it took me an hour and a half to remove that window. And I tried to remove the upper pane of glass without breaking it. And as I was trying to do that, I broke it. So then I came back inside the house, took a 2x4 and just popped it out, because I figured it's already broken. So, but getting the aluminum frame off the side of those windows is really, really hard. It's not an easy task. And I think that in other windows in the house, I'm probably going to sawzall the aluminum edges. I think it'd actually be a lot less time and be a cleaner job, because I beat the hell out of all the studs that are surrounding the window frame and pry bar, and I use a sawzall and I cut into a little piece of the J-channel trim on the siding, and it's just not fun. But anyway, I cut a piece of 3/4 inch plywood just to cover the window, because I don't have the window and I need the place to be secure, or mostly so. Next thing I'm going to do is some drywall repair, and I'm going to kind of show you how I do that, and my favorite knife. My favorite knife is awesome, so I'll show you that. So I wanted to show you a couple of different sheetrock knives. This is probably a 4-inch, I guess. It's good, but it's stiff. It's a very stiff knife. It doesn't bend much this way. But these are great around light switches and stuff where you don't have a lot of room, or in between trim and a wall, like on a door. These are cool. You can also go at an angle with these. This is I think it's a 10-inch knife. This is for doing the seams. So if you're laying down the sheetrock on its side and you are at 4 foot, you would come along and you would, go ahead and do the seam. So this carries a lot of mud, and it puts a lot of, it fills in the gap of the dimpled part of the sheet. But my favorite knife for doing repairs is this one. And I think this is a 6-inch knife. It's stainless steel. This is a cobalt, but other people make them too. DeWalt has just started making stainless steel sheetrock knives. They're very nice, but I've had this one for years. It's really good. But the thing I like most about this knife is the size of it and how flexible it is. It's super soft. It's very, very soft, and you can do a lot with it. And so I'm going to kind of show you this deal here. When you are putting mud, this is a place in episode 1 where I had to patch a hole in the wall from where they opened the door and they took the thing off or whatever, and it made a hole in the wall. And so I took a little piece of the mesh tape and I taped it up, and I just did heavy in the middle. But then when you get around to the edge, you see how the knife can be bent, where this side of the knife is not even touching the wall and this side is. That's why I love this knife so much, because what you can do is you can bend it where you can get it, where you can lay it on heavy in the middle and then feather it off on the sides, all very naturally. I did 1 coat of mud on this, and everything is good. I sanded it already, but I still have a tiny bit of dimple here where there's a cavity from the patch, and then I've got a screw hole here. So what I need to do is just open up the mud, and I don't need to worry about mixing it because it's pretty much brand new. But I'm just going to take, this is too much mud, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show you what I'm talking about. So that's the area that's big. What I'm looking to do now is to just put, to fill in the middle. And so when I'm going this way, I was pushing really hard on this side, and then I was pushing hard on this side of the knife going that way. And that's kind of how you accomplish that. So now I'm going to come back in and just do a little bit doing the same thing. So I didn't even hit it so hard that, let's see here if I can get it to cooperate. I'm going to go right down the middle. And that looks pretty good. I might have it there. That's it. So I'm going to stop right there. And that's one thing that you can do is you can do too much. So if you feel like you're doing too much, back off, and that could help you. Here's another patch. I've got a problem here where they have gone through the paper, and this is the actual the backing of the sheetrock, and then I've got this big glue hunk here. And because they're right next to each other, I'm going to go ahead and just cover this. And so I'm going to go ahead, and the other thing to remember is that the more angled down you are as you wipe, the more material you're spreading. The more acute your angle is, the less you're spreading. So what I'm going to do first is do a really, and then I usually come back with a side swipe. That's all I'm going to do there. And that's going to be an easy fix. That hole will be good. I'm going to go ahead and just while I'm here, I'm going to just go ahead and go over this because glue is just murder on water-based paint. So I'm just helping myself out in the future here, and I'm done with that. So you can see you don't take a lot of time. It doesn't, there's not a lot to do. I've got another piece over here that I just found here. So same thing, I'm just gonna, and then remember, the more angle you have, the less material you're spreading, and that equates to sanding less and having less prep work. So pretty quick. Usually it's 2 swipes and I'm done. I'm just going to show you something about the way sheetrock dries. The whiter it is, the edges where it's really thin, it turns white really fast, and then it stays gray in the middle. And so you really don't want to sand anything until the patch is all white without any kind of, and the center is where you're going to have the most joint compound. So don't be tempted to get in here and sand too early. You just really want to wait. So here's a really good example of that same thing, where the white surrounding that patch that I first did, you can see the center is dark gray, and that's the patch, that's the part that I did today. So tomorrow when I get here, I'm going to have to take off all this extra sheetrock that goes up and down and get rid of that. But this is just to kind of keep the place secure for the night. But you can see I got a lot of work to do still. I had a neighbor stop by today and just ask me what I thought it was going to cost, all this stuff, and I really don't know. But in a sense, it doesn't matter because I have to fix it. So, but in terms of cost, this is going to be the absolute most expensive part of the house. The kitchen cabinets are really expensive. They'll probably run me $900 just for 3 cabinets. I'm going to have to buy a dishwasher. If I find a good, clean, used one, it'll be $150, $200. If not, I'll have to buy a new one. Countertop, sink, you know, all that stuff, it just adds up really quick. So the time in here with labor, it's just my son and I, but I pay him $20 an hour. So hanging sheetrock, that takes time, all the screws, all the mud, all the tape, you gotta wait, then sanding and prepping for painting and all that stuff. So it's really, this is the big one. This is the big room here. Just give you an update on the plumbing situation. The plumber guy, this friend of mine, he's actually an electrician, but he does plumbing as well. He came in and fixed 1 leak the first time he came. The second time he came, he fixed 3. And we thought we had it, and we turned the water on, and it sprayed all over the place in the laundry room. So there's a pipe that's split from the cold in the laundry room. So he's going to come back and address that. And then I should be able to get the water on, because he can't paint without water. So that's what we're waiting for at this point. So that's why I'm doing all the wall repair, so I can get all that behind me, and then I can sand and start priming. So, and what I'll be doing pretty much, if you look in the rooms, if you look down low here, the walls are terrible, right? All the scribbling and crayon and all that stuff. But once you get to like 4.5 feet, it's pretty nice. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is probably priming everything 4 or 5 feet and down, and then I'll just use paint on the upper part. So that's not so bad. So I think that's a reasonable way to approach this at this point. Here now on this wall, you can see all the little patches and how it's drying, because I started in here. So you can see how the centers are gray and then the edges are dry, and